everybody. Good afternoon and good evening, wherever you may be. Welcome to another episode of Oche Kitchen. Today, we're going to talk about the mental health. Please, if you're live with us, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the notification button. Thank you. Before we start into the conversation of today, I'm going to do the hygiene nutri tips. And today I'm going to talk about the benefits of walking, not walking, because we Africans, when we say walk, they think we're talking about walk. We don't know the difference. Walking, it's good for our hearts. It can improve coordination and balance. It increases our exposure to vitamin D, because when you walk outside, the sun hits you, you get vitamin D, which is good for your bone, prevents osteoporosis. It helps us maintain a healthy weight, because as you're walking, you're exercising. It helps reduce stress. It improves our blood pressure. It improves how we feel. It boosts creativity, and it increases our energy. And for some people, I know that after you walk, you throw up. So if you're somebody who throws up after walking, just give yourself 3 hours by the time you eat and by the time you walk. So after eating, give yourself like a couple of hours, 2 to 3 hours, so that your food will digest before walking. So getting into the conversation of today, it's mental health. October 10th is Mental Health Awareness Day, and we celebrated it on all our platforms. And today we're going to talk about it. What is mental health? Mental health includes our emotional, psychological, and social well-being. It affects how we think, feel, and act. It also helps determine how we handle stress, relate to others, and make healthy choices. It ranges from mood disorders such as depression or bipolar disorder, anxiety disorders, personality disorders, psychotic disorders such as schizophrenia. Joining us today is Dr. Bobby Nodim, who is a psych nurse practitioner in Maryland, USA. Bobby, welcome to the show. Can you unmute yourself?
Yes, thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. So I'm going to ask with the first question. What experiences in our lives, work or family, help us understand what mental health is?
Frankly speaking, mental health is just like physical health. Anything can be a trigger to mental health disorder. If you call it disorder, that is only when it impairs you from carrying out your daily activities of living. Joyful events can trigger you anxiety. Your kids going to college is a good thing that your kids are going to college, is a good thing that your kids are leaving the house. But again, there's a lot of unforeseen circumstances out there. You're not sure. You're scared of your kids' safety. You're scared if there's going to be a peer pressure, which is definitely out there. Then you're scared if they're going to comply to it. So these are the joyful events that triggers to anxiety. Another thing too, other than joyful events, some of the things that can trigger anxiety is this: when you lose somebody, accidental, losing somebody, or losing your job, anything that can make you sad, anything that makes you angry. Like I said again, if you're unable to live with it and still carry out your daily activities of living, that's when it becomes a problem. So pros and cons, good things brings anxiety, brings mental health disorder, as well as bad events too.
All right. I know some time ago you were telling me that we were talking about mental health, and this was like a couple months ago. You told me that everybody is depressed. Like you said, it depends on how you. So how do you differentiate when somebody is sad and when it's depression? Like, because I think you told me everybody is depressed. Depends
we are depressed. I agree.
Yes, we all are depressed. Like I said again, it all depends if you're able to carry out your daily activities of living with it. Then where it becomes a problem when that depression causes you not to go to work. That depression makes you not to leave your house. You're constantly crying. You're not eating. You're sleeping all day. You're not sleeping at all. You're awake for 48 hours, 72 hours. You're sleeping 72 hours. You see, that's when it becomes clinical depressed. That's when you start seeking for help.
Okay.
That's the difference.
So, oh, go ahead. Sorry, I wanted to ask something. Something else was going in my mind. Go ahead.
No, so there's a difference between.
Okay, but can somebody be depressed and still be going to work? Because I know a lot of people go to work, they're frustrated. So, okay.
Of course, that's what I'm saying. Remember what I said, when you're not able to carry your daily activities of living, when you're not sleeping all day without leaving your house, when you're not sleeping, when you're eating all the time, when you're not eating, you see, these are the things that makes you clinical. These are the things that differentiate you from able to carry out your daily activities. That's when you start seeking for help, because now it has mentally affected your daily livings. We all are depressed in one way or the other. It could be a bad event and it could be a joyful event too. But again, are we able to live with it? That's the difference. Just like anxiety and psychotic.
Bobby, there's something Ijama said. She used the word that might throw us off balance. She said some people are frustrated. Do we link frustration to depression?
Of course.
So every depressed person must be frustrated. Is that correct?
Say that again.
Every frustrated person has depression, is suffering from depression, or is it that every person suffering depression must be frustrated? Can you tell me about this? Yeah.
Vice versa. One leads to the other leads to the other. At one juncture in your life, you're frustrated because you're not able to live with your peers, thereby it causing you depression. It is making you depressed. Okay.
So am I correct to say that not all frustration is linked to depression?
Yes. Yeah.
Good. Thank you.
I think that's why I want her to explain to our audience, because she was telling me sometimes that everybody's depressed. You know what I mean? Some people, you see them always happy, but like things are bothering them. You know what I mean? They still carry on their daily activities. So that's where I want her to differentiate, the difference between, like being clinically depressed and not being. So what's the difference? Can you tell me the difference between anxiety and depression?
So anxiety, in the sense that you're so anxious, you're so nervous, you can't speak in front of people. Every other thing makes you palpitate. You're having physical symptoms like sweating. You're having physical symptoms like headache, nausea, all those GI symptoms. All those things comes in with anxiety. You're not able to function. You're scared of going outside now because you're going to mess yourself up. You're going to have an accident. You're scared of going outside now. You're scared of meeting with your peers because whatever they say is going to trigger what is burning inside you. So sometimes we say some things without even thinking. Meanwhile, it's part of the anxiety in us that making us act like we shouldn't. So those are the examples of anxiety.
Like for me, when I'm anxious, my tummy, like I have diarrhea, like for no reason. So what do you?
So go ahead.
Like when I'm anxious, like it's something, like if I'm going to do something and I'm anxious about it, I just have instant diarrhea.
You know, when mental health is part of physical health. That's what people don't understand.
Yeah.
Not just having mental health, you exhibit the symptoms physically. It's part of it.
Yeah. Okay. Oche, what did you want? You wanted to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to say, when we were younger, somebody would say, "Hey, in Shokabam."
That's
and
it.
It looked like metal. But as an adult now, I can totally relate. From nowhere, when that tension comes, you just want to use the bathroom.
And your chest will be beating.
Yes.
Hey, no, palpitation is my middle name.
There you go. So that's part of the anxiety. You're seeing it physically in your body.
I can totally relate to all the symptoms you mentioned.
Okay, Oche, let me ask you something. What triggers your anxiety? What's that?
Phone.
Yeah, it's true. I remember we talked about it.
If you don't let me know you're going to call and what you're calling for, it can be a trigger. Okay, so and it gets worse sometimes, especially if there's like this week that a news broke about an actor that died. You know,
very handsome dude. I didn't
hear. Do you know that it felt like a personal loss to me because I still watch the soap he features in, and it's a daily soap, Monday to Fridays. In fact, my husband had to call me that day to be sure that I was okay.
Oche, can you say the name, his name? I know I saw it on Instagram. I didn't even know about him.
Rico Suave.
Yeah, Rico Suave.
Rico Suave is actually his entertainment name. His name is Patrick Fakoya. You know, people knew him with Big Brother, but I knew him from that soap. In fact, my kids tease me about the soap because I think it's the longest running soap in Africa, Tinsel. It's been on for 12 years or something. You know, this guy features in Tinsel. So when my husband heard it, he called me because he knew. And throughout that day of that his death broke, each time my phone, in fact, even if it is a buzz or I see somebody typing, my chest is pounding. Because I know phone is my number one enemy.
So you see in this aspect now, you're relating to external factor that doesn't even affect you. But just because that you know who this person is, you're a fan. So that anxiety that he's not gonna be there anymore kicks you. That's what it is. And again, if you can extend it, that may make you not to watch soap again because you're scared that maybe somebody else is gonna die about it.
I haven't put on the TV since that day. I haven't put
on the TV since seriously?
That day. I'm telling you. I haven't put on the TV since that day.
That's part of it.
For me, it's interviews and exams and everything.
Forget interviews. So interviews is an entirely different ball game. For example, you know, I told you guys that I'm the chairperson of the PTA of my children's school.
Yes.
Last week we held an event, the annual meet and greet, that you know, for parents to meet with old parents and teachers and interact and all that. And as the chairperson, I was meant to give a speech, but I had to tweak the settings by making it question and answer with the chairperson so that I can stand on stage with Fred. Fred was my MC because there was no way I was going to face the crowd and talk. It wasn't going to happen.
Wear sunglasses. Wear sunglasses. I need more and shy.
Maybe if I was celebrities wear sunglasses everywhere, and you think now
that's why now
it is to be. You understand? Maybe stage fright and stuff. So I just told Fred, I said, there's no way I'm going to make this speech. So it's going to be you and I on stage. He would ask me questions and I'll answer. As far as I was concerned, I was just talking to him.
But that's better. That will have you say more than when you're just reading a scripted.
No, you can't even catch me dead with a mic talking to people. It's not going to happen.
But remember when we started this program, you thought you couldn't talk, but see you now, you talk more than Ifeoma.
Exactly.
More than me, sir.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah?
More than me, sir.
Now why are they in the guest strength?
Now why are you doing the guest strength?
It was the last one, that's why. Does anybody have any questions for Dr. Bobby before Ifeoma Mama takes the mic?
Dr. Bobby, good evening.
Hello.
Okay.
Yeah, my name is Lee Baba. Those of you who know me, keep quiet, please. Dr. Bobby, please, if you're broke, what do you do so you don't have depression?
Another thing is this, being broke, what does it prevent you from doing? So when you say you're broke, we have to go into details to know what broke means to you.
Broke means you don't have money now, and I'll call you
okay, you don't have money. You don't have money. What does money prevent you from doing? That's another aspect of it.
Be Friday evenings. You're not to come here again.
So you said about social outings, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, so in other words, you have your basic needs.
Yes.
So you're worried about your social outings this time. Am I right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So without you going out for that social event, what happens if you don't go there to the social event?
Wow, I have heart attack most times.
Huh?
If I don't drink beer, I have heart attack most times.
It could be true. It could be withdrawal because some people who are so addicted with drinking alcohol, without them drinking that alcohol, they'll go into withdrawal, and heart attack is part of it.
Are you serious?
Thank you.
Oh, yes.
Just for one weekend?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
If they go into withdrawal, it's a serious event, so they can die from alcohol withdrawal. So there's medication that you can take to prevent you from.
If I call your house, you give me water, you go hear.
Huh?
Sorry, doctor.
Better come with your own drink when you're coming.
Thank you. Thank you, Lee Baba, and thank you, Bobby. If I'm gonna take it away.
Okay. All right. Good. Let's go to Fifi's affirmation for today. There are 3 basic things you need to, I'll suggest that we need to adopt. Again, listening to them, you find out that they will help improve your mental health daily. Always smile or laugh.
Yes, sir.
Very important. Yeah, IK, you're doing a good job there. I can see that smiley face. Good.
He's in care alcohol withdrawal.
Like they'll say, a smile costs nothing but gives much.
Yes.
It enriches those who give than those who receive. So give the smile more because they will enrich you more than those who give. 2, do regular physical activity at your own pace. There's this common habit, especially let me use Instagram because that's where everything's trending now. Because you see every lady going to gym, everybody wants to do it, even though it's not working for them. It stresses them out, trying to meet up with challenges, trying to put up appearances on social media. So everybody will see, I'm going to the gym. Do it at your own pace. If it works for you to take it, do it all the time and show up, fine. But if you're doing it just to impress people, please cut it out.
Don't even need to go to the gym. Yeah.
It's important. Again, you must not go to the gym to do regular exercises. There's several things you could do. Taking short walks, taking brisk walk, running up your stairs. That's exercise. So what you can do, so you could still have regular exercises without it costing you money. Yes. Lastly, check and control your weight.
Oh boy.
Yes, very, very important. And it affects our mental health, without a doubt. If we feel that we're getting too skinny today, it's an issue. We're going too fat, it's an issue. My tummy is bulging out, it's a big issue because I don't want to wear that girdle. So it's an issue for everyone. Think about it, check your weight and control it the way you need it done. And going to the next question is, what is the impact of mental health issues in our community? And again, have you seen any changes in these issues over time? Community we'll be talking about here as various communities. We're talking about US, UK, Ghana, Nigeria, wherever you are. So you could talk about it as it relates to your community. Bobby, put you on the spot again. Do you want to throw some light? Then we'll let others chip in. What are the impact of mental health issues in your community, and have you seen any changes on this issue over the years? Yeah.
Of course, there's a lot of stigmatization where it comes to mental health. So we are doing some educational awareness, community outreach, just to educate parents, and children, everybody, that mental health, they shouldn't be afraid. They shouldn't be shy to seek for help when they need one. Mental health is just depression, anxiety, schizophrenia, psychosis. It's just like having asthma. It's just like having eczema. It's just like having high blood pressure. So the early detection goes a long way. Early detection is the key to treatment. Okay, like I said again, we are doing some community outreach, educating everybody to seek for help. And when I say educating, we're giving them a lot of things. It could be school bag, we could be writing pads, it could be, name it, anything, food, just for them to reach out. And most people that are seeking for this help, I don't want to use it like government assisted, but again, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So I'm encouraging everybody, mental health is just like having physical, medical diagnosis. Okay, yes. Let us come out from that, our stigmatization that is depriving us from seeking for help, and get the help as we need it.
Yeah, okay. That's fine. Before it disappears from my memory, I'll tell you one that just came to mind now. Within UK, and I work within the social housing sector as well. Mental health, the impact of mental health within this community is homelessness. It's put a lot of people out on the streets. People just leave their home and live under the bridges, in the shopping mall. When I say they leave their home,
can I ask you? So you said they leave their home, or they are homeless already?
No,
let me themselves because of mental health illness, they make themselves intentionally homeless.
Hold on one second. Let me rephrase it for you. That's not intentionally. When they are depressed, they don't go to work. And what happens when you don't go to work? You lose your job. What happens when you lose your job? You don't have any fun.
Okay.
You see, these are the steps that makes them to be homeless. And again, that proudness in them, they can't seek for help from family members or friends. They rather try to do it on their own.
Helplessness as well. They're helpless. They're helpless and hopeless. Not just about stigma or shame. That's when the real mental health is degenerating. They're out there, they don't know what to do. So what we've done differently within the homelessness team, within all local authorities, they try to go out there. They have our outreach teams that'll go out and bring them in and house them, and obviously help them, assign them to, signpost them to social services and agencies that could help them start living their normal life again. Again, relationship breakdown is another big factor. And in today's world, relationships, and let me narrow it down to marital relationships or partnership, it's a big issue and it's setting people off in the wrong direction. Breakdowns is causing a lot of mental health issues for both men and women. And then most of them end up homeless, and that brings them into that cycle where they'll need to be picked up by the social system wherever they belong. I don't know how this works in Nigeria. I know people still go through the same, or maybe due to lack of that support, they pick themselves up, or family pick them up, and they carry on and keep managing as much as they can. Okay. Anyone else want to say something? Oche? Oche, did you have something?
I think Nigeria, we used to think, years ago, Nigerians don't get depressed. They believe, like, we used to believe that if something happens to you, you fall down, you get up, what I mean? People help you get up, but, like, it's high now. It's like a lot of Nigerians are like coming out about depression, and, they're exhibiting symptoms, and, so, and I think it's normalizing in Nigeria that it's okay to be depressed, because, on social media, you see everything, even, around you see things happening, and, you see them seeking, you see them seeking help. And most times when we say, oh, Ijohapa is stronger, I think that's another thing that, when people see you as strong, they don't check in on you. They think, you know what I mean? So, oh, okay, then Ifeoma is not strong. Then you'll be checking up on Ifeoma. Meanwhile, Ifeoma might be emotionally stronger than me. Ijoma is just Chakashalanya strong. So I think Nigerians are better because we have this communal living. So we tend to check up on each other, even if it's not physical calling. You text each other to see, hey, what's up, what's going on, and everything. And here, like you said, in London or here, everybody's like an island. Everybody's so independent. Everybody's so I want to be by myself. Everybody's like, I don't want to bother pops and mom. I don't want to bother my siblings, and or maybe because they are just free to talk about it. Maybe that's why we we tend to see it more here, but I
So
see
it's
people
nothing there,
like
yeah.
I used to see people homeless here. I'm like, how can in Nigeria? But I heard in Nigeria, in Lagos, there are homeless people. You know.
Yeah,
But,
I do want to say something about this.
Yeah,
The question again was,
yeah.
what's the impact, yeah, of mental health issues in your community, and have you seen any changes over time?
Yes, I've seen a lot of changes, but I wanted to comment on what she said about Nigerians and not being depressed and something. The only thing is that we are now well aware of what depression is. Back in days, we weren't aware. It's just like domestic violence now. Everybody's aware of the domestic violence. Back in the days, most of our aunties will walk out of the marriage, will be saying, this woman, bad woman, not one
Ashawo, yes.
don't they follow men. But you don't know what she's been going through. You don't know the fights every night and the insults from maybe our uncles or our relations. And we tag the woman as a bad woman. But at the end of the day, growing up, you find out that there are lots of things our parents hid from us, or our relations, or our siblings, or people around us, because they weren't well aware and they weren't really enlightened then. They weren't outspoken. So most of them will bottle up a lot of things, and most of us now we don't bottle up those things. So it becomes an issue. It becomes, it now looks as if the woman is challenging her husband. No, just because the woman is outspoken now, better than back in the days that our father can come back by 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. and want our mother to start cooking soup or what he wants to eat without having a microwave or even having light. He will now use candle to go and cook. And he keeps doing it every day. It's not like he cannot come home on time. But just because he feels the woman is a slave, so I mean, it's her work. Me, not the day why I see food that day. In my house, we don't cook, only on weekends. It's a policy. Not because my wife does not cook. She's one of the best chefs I know. But it's that when she comes back from work, why do I stress her if I can find something to eat outside? So Saturday, Friday is like festival for me. She'll cook anything I want to eat. And then I'm okay with that. But back in the days, our parents would put them under pressure. As soon as you come home, the woman will struggle. You go to ACB, that bank, ACB bank, all those women there.
And
they'll
CCB.
come home, they'll start cooking beans at 8 years. After logging out from that big logbook, not even computer. So, the environment has really helped a lot because most of us have learned how to accommodate our spouses and not be unnecessarily unbearing by making them feel it's your job to give me food, even if I come home by 12 a.m. So I think my environment is improved with a lot of enlightenment. But when I go home to Aba, some people there are still suffering.
They are. Yeah.
Thank you.
And the funny, go ahead, Oche, go ahead.
Okay, I wanted to say, like he said, the environment has improved, but there's something as well that we didn't realize. This custom of when your wife brings food back in the days, they force her to taste the food. That was because those are our great grandmothers. When these men are being unnecessarily unbearing,
you think they want to kill them?
They just poison them. Because they can't come. I'm telling you, that's what those old women were doing. If you feel that your own is just too much, Etirig is something nari, because she can't challenge you.
I never heard this before. I'm surprised.
Oh my goodness. That is how they were getting out of the wahala, because going home is not an option. Challenging the man is not an option. Nobody would side you. So you help yourself by looking for something. Gradually, or one day we are outright. But the thing is, you need to be out of that bondage. And a lot of them did that.
I didn't know that. I didn't hear that part. Oh, wow.
But if that was... If that was what was happening, then what of meaning in Ozumiri and all that stuff? If you said that
like they say, they kill African man. Even when they make them drink those things, unless you're ill, naturally, bad water can give you stomach ache, can give you typhoid. And there are people, abrukas like me, nothing makes me purge. Somebody like me would drink it and nothing would happen.
But
what's the essence of the Ingomiro? The men give to the women.
Exactly.
What's the essence of the Ingomiro?
No, they feel you kill their siblings. So if you drink it, you die.
Kill your husband.
After the man dies, then they'll
pay.
Yes.
Based on if you're married to a tyrant and you're looking for a way out, at that point in time, you don't even care. You're like, let me just get rid of him. Whatever the consequences, each bridge I get to, I'll cross it. Each bridge I get to, I'll cross it.
So please look at Ifeoma Mama. Ifeoma Mama is surprised you're saying this kind of thing. She's like in awe. She can't even say. Ifeoma Mama in awe since they like. Why are you at TV? Ifeoma watching like TV.
No, but I mean, we're talking about things.
I'm surprised it's coming from you that you know these things and I don't. So
I'm surprised you don't know all these things. Anyway, what
but I know these things as well. But I'm so surprised it's coming from Oche. That's
I'm I am not aware. We all read, we all watch movies.
Yes, exactly.
Without deviating or taking us away completely from the mental health thing we're talking about, I can
but that's the mental health as well.
But that's a mental because you're stressing her and she's mentally she's going crazy.
Exactly.
So that is the only way out for her.
That instability in marriage.
It's still in line. It's still about her mental health. For her, this is the only thing that will bring me peace. If I get rid of this man. And that is because there is nowhere to run to. She cannot go home. Her husband's people can never be on her side. Even if they are witnesses.
Her family will never be on her side too. Her family will tell her that's what everybody's going through.
They join to oppress and suppress her. So at that point in time, she has only herself.
True. I know of a woman her husband was maltreating her, and over the years, he was ill. And doctors kept doing all the necessary tests they needed to do, and they couldn't find out what the problem was. They kept him in the hospital for a while. He recovered for a while, got home, and took ill. So they started testing water, testing stuff, testing what he eats. They couldn't find anything. They changed his diet. No way, their man, they died. So then I asked him what happened. He said he only takes coffee for some time now. Since he got home and they told him to stop, I still take the coffee. So one morning they told him when they make the coffee, you should make a call so that they can come and taste the coffee. You know that this woman has been putting cyanide inside the coffee, killing the man gradually. And she's the one that makes the man's coffee every morning. So the man will avoid everything but he will drink coffee. And cyanide inside that. So the guy did die like rats, small.
Killing me softly with this coffee.
With this.
So when they found out, the man just gradually left the house without any noise because for this woman to have mind to be giving such a thing, which means she might have a backup plan.
Of course.
You know, most of the time, the problem is not from the women, but most of the time it's from our men. And the way most of our men treat their wives,
the pressure they give,
mentally degrading. Most of the times you might not really insult a woman outrightly or hit her to make her depressed. Your actions as well, if you don't regard her as a human being, maybe when your friends are there, you only see her as a house girl. You don't even acknowledge, even when she's wearing the best of clothes, you not acknowledge what she's wearing or how she's looking. And another man starts telling her, so that the man can come. We all have to be careful out there. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ike. Thank you for bringing that up. The exposure or the awareness of domestic violence, and it has really helped, and it will continue to help within our society. Is there anyone that wants to add something to it? Winnie?
Oche can take a question.
Oche said no earlier, but once she heard Ike's voice, she was all over the place.
No.
Her own questions.
It's time for my question, Mama. Last week you took my time. Now you want to take it again.
I'll take your time. I'm sorry. I'll willingly hand over to you, baby. Go on.
Okay, so before I ask my question, Bobby, CLO
Bobby, the way you call it, Bobby. If you tighten now, why?
For this week is very straightforward. Doesn't have a lot about it, and it's just it's okay to outgrow relationships that are not meant for you. And that's it.
It's true. And to segue on that, if you don't mind, it's okay. Yeah, I'm saying the same thing. We have to make it okay to walk away. Even if it's marriage, even if it's 100 years marriage, it's not working for you. Walk away. It's better you have your peace of mind than be depressed. Sorry, go ahead.
Hey, baby. Baby Ukumi is on the screen.
Hi. Are you actually?
Hey, baby, how are you?
I'll go okay, one. Okay, guys. I'm sorry about the breaking transmission. I couldn't resist seeing my teddy bear. Okay, so the question is, does religion or culture or some other aspect of identity or background influence how we think about mental health? If so, how? Bobby, did you get that?
Yes, I do. When you say culture, culture comprises of everything you just mentioned now: religion, identity, background. All these things are in the umbrella of culture. There's some ethnicity that do not know what is mental health. Mental health is seen as a taboo to them. So in that aspect, there is nothing like mental health. I remember when I was doing one of my clinicals, there's one of my patients who happens to be from Saudi Arabia. I'm sorry that I'm mentioning such name, but again, he said in his country, because he's living here in America with a mother, the uncle has been trying to bring him home. I think he's about like 18, 19 years. Okay, and he's in the hospital giving the mother headaches. The only treatment they have him in Saudi Arabia is to flog him. After flogging him, whip, yes. The uncle has been asking the mother to bring him back home to Saudi to whip the mental illness that he's claiming in America. Once he's been whipped and all those things goes away. And I believe that all these things are placebo effects on them.
Say
that again.
They still do.
Yeah, it's applied in Nigeria as well. They flog mentally ill people.
Yes. So
and they get better.
Yeah. And they
get better. Once they flog them, they get better.
We didn't even happen if you get better for a second, then the thing will come out again.
So all these things, what I'm saying is culture plays an impact in everything we do, especially with this mental illness, because they believe that whatever you put in your mind is what you give, or what is how you react to it. Okay? But when you go to Western cultures, okay, they treat you like gold.
Bobby, I can't hear you. See me?
I don't know. Me too.
So when you go to Western culture, they recognize mental illness, okay? Because it's been recognized. Even people that are mentally ill in this culture that I'm living in, they get some incentives. Oh yes, they get some incentives. Some of them get free housing because they have this diagnosis. Some of them get food, free food. Okay, even the children in school, they get some incentives in school because they are from foster family or adopted family or homeless, all those things. So culture plays a huge impact on the way we perceive our illness. That's my intake. That's the statistics.
Culture.
Okay. So at the end of the day, we culture, I used to say it actually that no matter what anyone says, you can be sure that upbringing and somebody's background would always come to the fore in whatever they are doing in future or as an adult. No matter the exposure.
your parents is your primary teacher. They are your first teacher. Every other thing that you learn is second.
Is the volume falling for Bobby or something?
I was wondering too. It was as if Bobby was just using bedroom voice.
Oh my gosh. Can you hear me?
Yeah, now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we can hear you better now.
So what I was saying, like, okay, what you were saying, yes, I say your parents is your first teacher. Your parents are your first teacher. So whatever you learn at home is your primarily. That's the first thing that sticks in your head. Going outside from home, starting from kindergarten, starting from pre-K, starting from elementary school, those things are secondarily. So your parents is your first teacher. That's where we learn. When you say nature versus nurture, they start nurturing you from birth. You start emulating how your parents work, how your parents eat, how your parents does their things, okay? So this is our first teacher. So when we leave the house and start attending school, those things are secondarily.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Bobby. Does anyone else have something to say?
I'm still confused because this question just drew me back to what I've forgotten and what I just reiterated earlier on, plugging people when they have mental health illness. Somehow, unless there was something I didn't know growing up, they got better with that kind of treatment. Bobby, can you counter that? What do you think happened then? They'll take them to, could be churches, it could be somewhere, sit them down, put the chain, tie them, restrain them, obviously, and I understand restraining people in hospitals today, and they flog them. I don't know if they flog them regularly or anything, but that
so
was
people had the more journey.
Yeah.
Then
their brain. So maybe drug-induced mental health problem.
Yes.
The restraint in the hospital is to prevent you from harming yourself or others.
Can you hear me?
Bobby, there's something wrong with your volume. What's going on?
I don't know. There's a. I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
So another thing I'll say is a placebo effect. In that
It's a placebo, yeah.
That works, and it works for them. That's what I'm saying. It's a placebo effect to them. It could be discipline, just like right here. Somebody that is using drugs, they have to give that person another drug to stop them from using that drug. And that drug they are giving them to stop them from using that drug becomes addictive too. You see? So in other words,
that's what I don't understand. Yeah.
Like, you have to stop. There's nothing to give you, just like start withdrawing. And that withdrawing is very painful. They have those physical symptoms, nausea, vomiting. You see? So in that aspect, let them do it in a tough manner. Rather than giving them something to stop them from what they're using.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is placebo effect. When you whip them, when you stroke them, when you beat them, those things. I'm not gonna be anyway. But again, those things that we're getting, it's not there anymore. 1 day, 2 days.
Your volume is still up and down, but that's okay.
Anyway, let me log out and log in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so by the time Bobby comes back, Winnie will take her questions. But before then, does anybody else have something to say about what Mom talked about, that the way mental ill health and all that?
Yeah. That worked, then they won't be on the street still roaming, and you know what I mean. And now here is just a temporary thing.
There's different aspects of mental illness.
Dr. Bobby, go ahead.
But they can understand that every human being with 5 minutes of mental madness. How do you come to 5 minutes in Niger?
When you're settling.
Every human being with 5. Yes,
it's true. Yeah, we all have mood. You're talking about mood disorders. Mood disorders is different. Then when we're talking about psychotic disorders, those are the men. Those are the mental retarded. You see, those are the mental retarded. The possibility of them getting back to normal is very, very limited. Those are the psychosis. Those are the schizophrenias. Okay, those ones are different. But when you start talking about depression, anxiety, mood disorder, okay, so those are the chances of getting them. You remember, to be honest, we all have these ones, especially the anxiety, the depression, the mood disorder. We all have them. We're able to function with it. It becomes a disorder. It becomes clinical.
When Jamal cannot go to work.
So those disorders cannot lead to mental problems.
All these things are in the umbrella of mental illness, high blood pressure, asthma, diabetes, all those things are medical diagnosis.
Okay.
All those things are medical. So when your diabetes now affects your kidney, you're going for dialysis. That's another issue. So that's when your mental illness affects your way of reasoning. When your mental is
Bobby, don't take us too far into the clinical side to things.
I'm sorry.
Keep us where we can land. And that's
what I'm saying. There's different types of mental.
Okay, guys. So Bobby, thank you for expatiating. I would like Winifred to ask her question now, please.
Oh, okay. Bobby, longest time. Good to see you once again, Jerry.
Thank you, my sis.
My tip today is on savings.
Yes, so it's very true. Another depressing.
So I think it will be wise for people to start buying things and storing them now before prices skyrocket, and all. So you have to make it while the sun shines. Before I buy them proper. To avoid the rush, With that being said, Bobby, Fungwano, to go to your question. How do we care for or consider mental and emotional health? And what is the impact of that?
How do we care for mental?
How do we
our mental health? Like, how do you take care of yourself
and emotional health? Yeah.
So at the beginning of this meeting, right? Each woman mentioned it, how we care for our mental health. That 5 minutes exercise, 5 minutes exercise, eating healthy, smiling, interacting with one another. These are the things that we do to care for our mental health. As well, likewise our physical health.
Yeah. Only.
There's no rocket science. Yeah, these are the things. You drink water. You go out there and get some vitamin D. You minimize alcohol. Sex is the basic aspect of life. Abraham Maslow. When you look at Abraham Maslow, sex is among the basic aspects you cannot do without sex. When it comes to water,
Did you say sex?
Shelter,
you say sex?
Yes. When it comes to water, when it comes to basic aspects of living, shelter and eating, that's where sex lies in. So these are the things that help us treat our physical and mental health.
Sugarcane.
Esther's hand is up.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Esther, go ahead.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me.
Welcome to the show.
I mean, I would say that it's about self-care, being intentionally looking after yourself. Sometimes it's little things, for example, making sure your hair's done, spending some quality time with yourself, discovering things that make you happy. It's a whole heap of things, but you have to be intentional about it. Because I feel for women, as women, we get to a certain stage, we just forget about ourselves. We prioritize everything else, you know, our family, our kids, our work, everything. And we forget about looking after ourselves, the individual, who we are. So for me, it's about educating young women coming up. That's why I do my job. I educate young women coming up to tell them, you know what, it's okay to prioritize your family and stuff, but you have to also prioritize yourself. Exactly. And I think once you start having that mindset, it grows with you, because you don't want to wake up one day and be like, who am I? You know, your kids leave, different things happen, and you get lost. And I think that's why a lot of women, we get into depression and all these things, because after a certain age, you know, your kids no longer need you. You know, sometimes, you know, our husbands don't even need us, you know, and then you think, what have I been doing with my life, you know? But if you grow up with looking after yourself, even when those things go away, you still have your self-identity, because you've been feeding your soul, you've been feeding yourself. So for me, that's what it's about. It's about self-care, being intentional. You know, you wake up in the morning, look in the mirror and tell yourself how gorgeous and how wonderful you are, because you are. We are all wonderful. And as women, we are wonderfully made. We all got so much to us. And it's not just about being a mother or working or being a wife. There's so much to us that we can give to each other and even to ourselves. So that's what I wanted to say.
Okay.
I'm glad you said that. Thank you, Esther. I'm glad you said that, because so many women lose themselves when they get married, and they lose themselves more after having kids. They concentrate on their husbands, and like you said, they don't do what they like. And at times too, when women embrace what they like and do what they like, it's a friction between their marriages. So they have to choose between staying happily married or being like having peace of mind for themselves. Like, you know, like for me, I'm kind of selfish in that aspect. I take care of me
selfish.
first.
I'll tell you something.
No, I don't care if it's I take care of me first. Yeah.
Self-care is not being selfish. And I think we're taught to feel selfish, but it's not. We need to have that. It's part of us growing. You know, it's like you rejecting your physical health. It's the same thing. Why are you going to, you know, reject the thing that makes you you? You know, what makes Esther? It's not just about the kids. It's not just about my husband. It's my self-identity. What makes me me? And it could just be the simple thing. Like, for example,
for me, it's been crazy.
Yeah.
Esther, you're mute.
Esther, who muted you when you're saying something important? Oh.
Esther, you're mute.
Person. And then we forget and we stop doing those things. And I think it's a balance, because I think for men, when you meet a man and you get married and stuff, they don't change that much. They still go out, they still do their things with their friends and still maintain it. But us women, we completely stop doing it. And it's like, why do we do that? And then later on, when we hit maybe 40, 50, we go, oh no, I want to go back to me. And they're going, no, who are you now? But it's actually, we always been there. I've always been there. I've not changed. I just kind of gave up my stuff, but I shouldn't have. And I think that's what I try to talk to people about and say, you don't need to give up those things. There's a balance. I'm not saying forget about your family and always go out and stuff. There's a balance. And I think life is about balancing. We have to balance feeding ourselves, feeding our family.
Right. Esther, there's something that you said, now when you reach your 30s and 40s, you start recognizing who you are. It's never late to find your groove at 50s and 60s. It's never late. It's better to be late than to be late.
It's never late, but I'm saying that we should always keep doing it. We shouldn't stop doing it. It should be a growing process. Yeah.
I totally agree with you. And I try to do that because sometimes I start feeling guilty.
You try to, or you do that every day.
You always do that too. You are always groovy.
Okay.
No lying here. No lying. You don't want liars.
I'm not doing enough.
Did you forget that we were here?
I think so.
You guys know that I think I'm not doing enough. I think I'm not even doing enough. I'm not catching my groove.
That's okay. You can still catch it. You can still catch it at 50.
Minister.
What if at 50 you start getting sick, you can't go out and everything, and then you're depressed, you regret your past life that you didn't do anything? So I think you should never stop. I think you should always be there, because we don't know what tomorrow will bring.
Exactly.
So today is bright. Is bright.
Happy day.
Exactly.
Of joy.
Yes.
In other
Never
words,
too late.
you need to find whatever makes you happy. You need to know
That's
the part
it.
of your body that makes you happy, so you can tell somebody this
I
is
know
what
the
makes
part of
me
my
happy.
body that makes me happy.
Ooh. Touch my ear, and I can hear.
May I say something, please?
Bobby, amen to that.
I've been waiting
Yeah.
for him to say something.
Yeah, I've been listening, what you guys have been saying and what the doctor has said. Yeah, and this is mental health issues.
Mm.
I like the way women are saying, do what works for you, do that. I know they always do that. They all gather together and travel, which women don't necessarily do. They have girls hangout, or they travel for one another's birthday. I have friends who do that on a consistent basis. Yeah, but one thing we tend to forget is that most of these men are always giving, and we should find out time, to recognize that those who are giving, who are strong for us, sometimes they need to be taken care of. We tend to ignore them, and when the man is not stable, when the man is not there, regardless of how you try to be happy to do one thing or the other, it's not always complete. So while we are talking about mental health, also the men in our life, both our parents also, those who take care of us, we have to remember them and carry them along and try to celebrate them when it comes to them. Because men, we go out to drink and some other things. We don't really spend quality time. And you think that we are doing, we don't. So you guys should think about that too. It's always good to be very selfish, but carry your loved ones, people who provide, who seems to have the strong mind in your life. Because sometimes because they are strong, we forget to take care of them too. Thank you.
Chris, I have a question for you. You said when you guys hang out and stuff, you guys don't spend quality time?
We can go to bars also. I have a couple of friends, if assuming it's your birthday, we can plan a trip. Go to Dubai, go to this. I've seen you guys go to Dubai, but I don't think I've seen our husband. No, I have friends. I have friends that I follow. They go to Vegas, in South Africa before. They're all women, but I don't think you've seen men get together and plan a trip outside. Who can go to the
They do. Yeah,
I have seen a group of guys went to Spain. Yeah.
Well, I'm not saying, but it's fun in between anyway. So, but I want us to realize that we should carry everybody along. When you think they are having fun, when you think little things they like to be celebrated, they like to be said, "Hey, come here today."
Are you saying we should take the guys on the girls' trip, or?
Yeah, I was going to ask that. Are you saying we should invite you when we're going?
Find out. No, we should celebrate them too, not necessarily taking them on a girls' trip.
Got you. Oh, yeah.
Because because they don't go to spa, they don't do all this.
They do go to
find a way to say, "Hey,
I go to spa.
Are you okay?
Massage parlors.
Are you this?" Well, I think the mental health person, can understand what I'm trying to, the point I'm trying to make. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. So Chris, in essence, is saying, remember your husbands or your partners or your men's birthdays. You guys celebrate an anniversary, take weekends off, and just do a weekend getaway. Once in a while, encourage him to go fishing with his fellow men. You could book like something for them to go for the weekend, and your girls will sit and have your own weekend. So, right? Yes, I think that's what Chris is saying.
Definitely. I agree with that. And I think
because most times men wouldn't think to do those things. So
yeah.
Okay. On the contrary, Chris, why would it be me? Because maybe I misunderstood you, but it sounded as if your comment was targeted at the female folks, right? And if that's correct, why would it be the female folks to remind men how to take care of their mental health?
Because most times they don't think about it. They don't even go to
everyone is an individual. We should all do it. Pick ourselves up and cheer ourselves up. Will I tell my man to start smiling, go for exercises? No.
No, that's how it should be. But the male, the male gender most times don't even go to the doctors.
No, that is not my problem. We are all individuals. We all have our mental health.
What he's trying to say is, if you genuinely care about someone, you look out for them.
Exactly. Okay? If you don't care, you don't care.
That is still wrong. That is why we are suffering. Because
no, your man comes back from work and he has met your emotional needs, met your financial needs, met your physical needs, but he's complaining of backache or something. You could book a massage for him. That is you looking out for him.
Even when what Chris is trying to say, even men normally don't, apart from going to the bath to drink, they don't think about anything. That's what he said. That even when they, I understand that, but Oche said something to you. Oche said, if you care about somebody, if you don't care about somebody, you don't give a shit what they do. You do not care. But if you care about somebody, and if you see that this man is working so hard,
that is why
I'm looking at him. That's looking at how. That's what I'm saying. He doesn't even need to complain. Mama, he doesn't even need to complain. Just the way he slouched on the chair, you start massaging him because you know him. Same way, if your man
after you massaged him,
you take off your shoes and your man feels like you're stretching your toes, he feels like your toe is hurting, he massages you. That's what people who care about each other do. But if you don't care about the person, you wouldn't
even notice that his back is hurting.
You wouldn't notice it. So it is what it is.
I think it's still the mental health. I think it should be way out of this partnership thing you people have described. We are all individual. Every individual should pick themselves up, practice what they do to help their mental health state. And if you're in the
but some people can't pick themselves up. Some people cannot pick themselves up.
Mama.
Some people cannot pick themselves up.
Then they'll meet them to go to Dr. Bobby.
All fingers are not equal. So
it's not everybody that can pick themselves up.
I still disagree.
I know that.
What are you disagreeing with?
That it's for the woman to remind the husband to take care of their mental health.
No,
some men remind their wives to take care of their mental health. To take care of each other.
Let Chris explain. Yeah.
Let me tell you, this is a problem. And you always, the strong people in our lives who always think they don't. It's just like you going to it's Dangote's birthday. What can I get him? What will I get him? If you get him a tissue box, he will appreciate it more.
There you go.
Because you deem it necessary to give him something, even with all the things that he has. You say, I don't give him anything because he doesn't lack anything. But he will appreciate that tissue box. So when the men are always there, the strong people, you took out time to go to to massage, you do the self-care, I'm loving the woman that I'm becoming. Come on. Remember to take care of, even if it's when he comes back, you help him losing his tie. That little thing goes a long way. I'm speaking from a man's point of view.
Of course, it makes him feel loved and wanted too.
That will go to his mental health. Is not only when you are naked going up and down in the street.
Hey!
I mean, like
so my favorite mental health topic.
Don't forget that person. I don't care what you say. He is living in the same room with you. He is a father of your children. If he's not there, your children is losing their father. Oh, I don't have to remind the man. I don't have to. No, you have to. Just don't forget to take care. It doesn't take you much.
Chris, thinking about the children, planning the meal for the week, thinking about my work is enough stress. That when I plan a trip with the girls, and I'll start thinking about, has the man planned another trip with his people?
That's okay. That mindset.
Why don't we do it vice versa?
IJ, I don't know if you are speaking, we're speaking objectively in this. It's not about me. And it's not about you. Let's be very, open.
We're talking about general public.
We're trying to talk to people. You don't have to discount it, whatever it means, even if it means getting him a cup of water or say, hey, drink this water. I know you need it. That's all it takes. But you have to show you care. You're planning meals for it. You have to take care of your children, and you have to marry your husband, whatever that takes.
Chris, I understand where.
Don't say I'm planning for the kids. I'm planning for this. No, when you plan for the kids, even if you have 12, plan for them. Plan for your husband.
You include him in the planning.
No, but for the purpose of today's topic, or for purpose of this week's celebration of mental health, it's not about pampering anybody. It's selfishness, in other words, looking after yourself and having the right mindset, not impressing anybody.
It depends on how you describe selfishness. I can be selfish, taking care of my wife to the exclusion of all others. That's selfishness. It doesn't necessarily have to be me taking care of myself personally. I can be selfish in thinking about my family before any other person. That's selfishness.
Yeah, but that will not help your mental health state, because you have to be.
It does. It makes you feel good. If anything that makes anybody feel good is mental health.
Doctor, what do you think?
If your smile is beautiful, it gives you self-confidence. You know what I mean? It makes you feel good.
When I say the placebo effect, it affects all of us. Somebody who buys shoes worth of thousands and thousands of dollars, neglecting her or his physical body, okay, that what makes him or her feel good. Yes, but again,
so
is it the
best that person to be having a mental breakdown, sort of a mental health issue?
Is that the best way to go through it? No, that's not the best way. But to that person in particular, that what makes that person feel good. Taking care of somebody else while neglecting yourself makes you feel good.
But we know that it's not about they're not striking a balance, but they're happy doing it.
They're happy doing it.
Okay. We can step out if we still have the time to hang around for the overtime while we'll go offline. Thank you very much for being a part of today's discussion. It's been interesting. We'll still sit back and have more discussion around it. So, mental health is your mental health. Look after yourselves. Do the things that make you happy. Do some things that may not make you happy, but they are good practices, like taking exercises. It might not make anybody happy, but it's important. But again, doing it at your own pace. Smile, be happy, look after yourself, look after people around you, your children, your friends, family, your partner. Anything that makes you happy, keep it real. Thank you for being today a part of today's show, and see you again same time next week. Sit back for the overtime.
All right.